It's NFL Spin Move. We're going to put a DFS or Sportsbook spin on the latest NFL headlines. And we will start in the AFC South. So good news here for the Tennessee Titans. A.J. Brown expected to be ready to go for the start of the regular season. He underwent surgery on not one, but both knees this offseason and has missed time in training camp. On DraftKings Week 1 slate, this dude will cost you $7,100 in salary, going up against the Cardinals. Jeffrey, you staying away from Brown in Week 1 or taking a more of a wait-and-see approach here with the wideout? What is your strategy here with him?
I mean, I think if you're doing an analysis of the situation, there's probably more reasons to stay away than get on it. But I'm just not really sure I care about anything other than the fact that we have A.J. Brown going up against the 31-year-old cornerback in Malcolm Butler, and I just don't feel like there's any comparison here. You've got a guy in the prime of his life who's been dominating cornerback ones since he stepped in the league in A.J. Brown. He's going to be low owned. The Tennessee Titans have a 27.25 team total in this game as well. Look, Malcolm Butler played great last year. The Arizona Cardinals were actually pretty good at limiting big plays. Again, I just don't think it matters. You've got A.J. Brown on a fast track against the guy who's 31. I will take the A.J. Brown. I think that the Tannehill-A.J. Brown combo in Week 1 could be a definite GPP winner in Week 1 contest.
All right, cool. Is this a GPP winner in your eyes in Week 1, Mr. Ducey?
Yeah, I think so. Look, you have to pick somebody, right? You want to take a wait-and-see approach on so many people, but someone has to be in your lineup Week 1. And when you look at all the context surrounding this, Geoff mentioned the cornerback matchup. You have a team that was better really stopping the run than the pass last year, and the Arizona Cardinals really just were better at throwing the ball than doing anything else. I think that you have a winner here, and now you look at Jonnu Smith and Corey Davis are both gone. A.J. Brown is the clear-cut guy, and he was one of the most reliable fantasy receivers last year. There's a reason he's going so high in redraft leagues. And Ryan Tannehill showed you that he has the ability to find A.J. Brown. They've got great chemistry. Ryan Tannehill has been throwing the football very well over the last couple of years, earning the belief of that staff, earning himself a nice contract. I really believe in this Titans offense. I like this spot for them against Arizona. This could be a big win for them. And A.J. Brown at $7,100, a lot cheaper than some of the sexier names out there like the Stephon Diggs, Calvin Ridley's, Tyreek Hill's. I think that this is a big winner here. I think that in this price range, A.J. Brown's my favorite option.
Don't forget about me and Julio down by the schoolyard there, Kenny.
Get the stretch.
Okay.
All right, dude.
I thought you would go with the Bruno Mars reference. I'm just a little surprised.
Nope, not at all. Bengals rookie receiver JaMarr Chase has had a less than stellar preseason. Now in danger of losing snaps to Auden Tate. Reports have the Athletics' Paul Denier Jr. Chase. What is that? What did I just read? Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. I see it now. All right. So that's what Paul Denier Jr. decided to report there. Everyone was pretty excited about Chase and quarterback Joe Burrow teaming up in Cincinnati, but it hasn't looked great in the early going. So let's talk about Chase receiving yards total here on the DK Sportsbook. Kenny, right now it's set for 1,025.5. Does this latest report out of Bengals camp have you leading under on Chase's total?
I was just never a big fan of this to begin with. I mean, look, I don't think that we know what's going to happen with Joe Burrow. The guy only played, 9 games? Last year, 10 games because of the injury. And when you look at a lot of those games that he racked up those yards, he played Cleveland twice, the Chargers, your Jaguars, a lot of defenses that were really not good. He had a few good performances in there, but this could still be a very up and down season for Joe Burrow as he tries to find his footing in the NFL. This report does nothing for me, really. I just never was that excited about taking the over on this high over on JaMarr Chase. He's very talented, but when you talk about rookies in year 1, did we learn our lesson last year with Jerry Jeudy and CeeDee Lamb? I don't think we did. It's very difficult to work your way into an offense and just absolutely explode in the first year. I know that there's the extra game. I'm just a little concerned with Joe Burrow still trying to find his footing in the NFL and JaMarr Chase trying to find a spot on this team. He's not going to be, I don't think, the number 1 guy. So maybe next year we're taking the overs on Joe Burrow and JaMarr Chase, but I don't think I can do it this year.
Can you do it this year, Geoff?
No, I mean, I think Kenny and I are in kind of lockstep this morning, which is it's just nice. I mean, because I feel like we've just disagreed about everything for the last 3 weeks. But JaMarr Chase is the guy, even from the get-go, like I wasn't super bullish on betting overs. I mean, You just have to look at this offense from last year. They had a rookie wide receiver in T. Higgins. T. Higgins had a very successful rookie campaign. He only had 908 yards. Like, he was basically their wide receiver ones. So I know a lot of that was without Joe Burrow. And look, if we get the healthy Joe Burrow, this offense could definitely produce more. But you're asking you're asking for a lot here from JaMarr Chase. Not only has he started weekly in preseason, but again, this may be a second half story. Maybe he gets you there. Maybe he starts to heat up around week 8 or something, and the Bengals start to insert him in the lineup more, and he becomes more of the wide receiver one, and you get some big garbage time gains at the end to get you there. But I think realistically, he's probably not going to play that many snaps at the start of the year. T. Higgins didn't play much in the first 2 games last year, and then he came on. You're going to need that same kind of performance from JaMarr Chase. But look, Auden Tate isn't terrible. You've got Tyler Boyd there. Like, you've got at least 2 other players here to take targets away from JaMarr Chase. Like Kenny said, wait till next year to bet on this guy. He's a young player, didn't play football last year either. There's just too many factors working against us to take the over.
One guy didn't play a whole lot of football last year, Geoff. That's Carson Wentz. He returned to Colts practice on Monday, just 3 weeks after undergoing foot surgery. You kind of saw that video of him running through a bunch of drills on the practice field. Looked pretty good. His original timeline to return was reported to be as long as 12 weeks. So this is pretty surprising here. Wentz plus 1,000 on the DK Sportsbook to be comeback player of the year behind Dak Prescott, Joe Burrow, Saquon Barkley, and Christian McCaffrey. If Wentz is good to go week 1, Geoff, how much would you consider betting on him plus 1,000 to win that award?
Yeah. So, I'm not like a huge Carson Wentz fan. I mean, I think if I really wanted to bet on a guy, I'd probably just take the Joe Burrow prop. But I like this bet. I think that you're getting good odds on Carson Wentz here. We've got 3 quarterbacks in the top 6 of the odds. We've got Dak at plus 210, Burrow at plus 700, and you've got Carson Wentz at plus 1,000. Well, the Colts are the best team of those teams. So if Carson Wentz is good, the Colts are probably going to be good. And that's just going to get everybody on the Carson Wentz train. So I feel like you look at Carson Wentz right now, and his season it's a complete boom or bust situation. He's either going to come in there, not be 100%, not play well, and they're probably just going to go to Jacob Eason and not play him because they can save a draft pick. Or the Colts, who have a great O-line, a good D-line, they're going to be really good, and this thing is going to absolutely fly, and they might even win the division. So I think plus 1,000 is very good odds to take a shot on that happening. Again, I want to take quarterbacks in bets like these because the quarterbacks always win these awards. They win the MVP. They win everything. So Dak, Burrow, Wentz, those are the 3 guys you should be targeting. You're getting the best odds on Wentz, and he's on the best team. I think this is a good bet.
Is it a good bet, Kenny?
Yeah, look, here's the thing. 13 quarterbacks have won this award since 2002, including my favorite man, James Chadwick Pennington, twice, very near and dear to my heart. So Geoff is absolutely right that quarterbacks usually win this award. And when I looked at these odds, I saw 2 guys right around Carson Wentz. I saw Nick Bosa and George Kittle. And in my mind, I'm thinking the San Francisco 49ers are going to have a good season this year, you would think, because they had just about every single player that was important to them injured last year. And these 2 guys would be big stories at the forefront of great season for the 49ers. The problem is it is very difficult for a pass rusher or a tight end to win this award, especially a tight end. I mean, that happened with Rob Gronkowski in 2014, and it hasn't happened ever, or at least, it's never happened in the history of the award. So I think that the best bet is a quarterback, and Carson Wentz is a guy that I believe in this year, reuniting with Frank Reich. I think that the Colts are going to be a very good team. They had a good season last year with Phillip Rivers shot putting the ball to a bunch of wide receivers. They've got loaded talent at the skill positions. This could definitely happen for Carson Wentz. I love these odds. I hate the odds on Dak Prescott. I don't know why Joe Burrow has better odds than Carson Wentz. Yeah, I would expect this guy to be, if not the favorite to win the award after 4 weeks, second in line to win the award. I think that Carson Wentz is a very, very good bet here.
Guys, this is a very important story now that we are about to share with you. Raiders head coach John Gruden reportedly reached out to the Bears about the availability of Khalil Mack. Yeah, the same Khalil Mack he traded for a bunch of draft picks back in 2018. Gruden reportedly cried for 3 days after dealing away the pass rusher and checked in on potentially getting him back. The Bears are like, no, dude, we're not falling for that. So let's take a look at both teams here. Raiders, plus 350 to make the playoffs this season. The Bears, plus 210. Which is the better bet, Geoff?
No kidding. They're not going to trade back Khalil Mack. They're not dumb, Emerson. Of course, John Gruden wants Khalil Mack. Guess where they ranked in sacks per game last year? Third last, 1.3 per game. John Gruden has probably been crying every day since Khalil Mack left because they don't have a pass rush. Yes, this is a big hole in the Vegas defense. It was last year. It's probably going to be again. Max Crosby, Yannick Ngakoue, maybe they improve a little bit, but it's not going to be anything like having Khalil Mack in there. So, again, let's talk about the postseason bet quickly. Vegas is in a tough spot. Denver, Chargers, these are pretty good teams, especially Denver with that defense. If they get any quarterbacking, they're going to be a tough team. You got to take the Bears here. They're in the weaker division. They get Detroit a couple times. If they can overcome those games versus Minnesota, Fields gets in there. I like their shot better. I'm not super high on either of these teams, but there's no way I'm taking the Raiders. Maybe Chicago makes the trade just because, they feel bad for John Gruden or something. But until that happens, I'll be on the Chicago side of this bet.
Well, Kenny, an interesting note here this morning, too, from Adam Schefter. Matt Nagy said this morning Justin Fields is going to start on Saturday versus the Titans and play roughly 2 quarters.
It's happening.
Yeah, I mean, I expected Justin Fields to start week 1 all along. You have Andy Dalton stepped into that Cowboys team with about 8 number 1 wide receivers and couldn't
Penny
do
and I have
anything.
been all over this, Emerson. We've been all over this, Penny.
We've been all over it. They never wanted to name the starter, but everyone knew. Look, here's the thing with this bet, right? The AFC, it's much more difficult to make the playoffs. At least it was the last couple of years. There's just way too many talented teams fighting for wild card spots. The Bears made the playoffs last year, if you don't remember, and there are plenty of regression candidates in the NFC. Are the Saints going to be as good this year without Drew Brees? That's a big question. Do the Vikings take another step back? I think that there's plenty of candidates here to miss the playoffs that might have made it last year. When you look at the Bears, this is a team that was top 10 in DVOA on defense, number 4 against the rush. This is a very good defense. There's a reason, as Geoff said, that John Gruden wants Khalil Mack back. You look at the Raiders, they had one of the worst defenses in the league last year. Now they lose LaMarcus Joyner. They brought in Yannick Ngakoue. Big whoop. This is still a team that's going to lead the league in personal foul penalties and undisciplined defense. And Derek Carr, who's literally the most average quarterback in football, I think you would rank him right at 15 or 16 if you had to rank all the quarterbacks in the league. No, I have no faith in this Raiders team to make the playoffs. I actually think this Bears to make the playoffs bet is really, really solid at plus 210.